firstly, on the current tensions, how bad is it, and what sparked this recent increase in hostilities?
Yes, Eve, given that all of this is happening at 14,000 feet above sea level in the remote Himalayas, information has been fairly slow in trickling down, and that combined with the Indian authorities being extremely tight-lipped, it's been difficult to put together exactly what happened. But here's what we've been able to confirm from Indian authorities. At least 20 soldiers have been killed. 3 were confirmed killed yesterday. And late last night, Indian officials released a statement saying that 17 soldiers who were injured and exposed to sub-zero temperatures and high altitude also lost their lives. At least 4 soldiers are currently in a critical state and have been airlifted to a hospital. Now, the immediate trigger for this dispute, which has been, in fact, going on for several months, these brawls, appears to be a road that India was building along the disputed border in an area called Galwan Valley. In fact, this area where Monday night's clashes took place is roughly the same place where India and China went to war back in 1962. Now, India maintains that it was building this road to its air base in its own territory. This was in Indian territory. China disputes that, and that appears to be the immediate trigger. But of course, behind that is a longer dispute that goes back several decades. Now, as you mentioned, this is the most serious confrontation between these two armies, the armies of the world's 2 most populous nations, who also have large stockpiles of nuclear weapons. And here in India, military analysts say that blame China for taking a very aggressive position on this territorial dispute. And all eyes continue to be on Prime Minister Narendra Modi, who hasn't released a statement yet. And we expect to hear from him later today.
Indeed, Mandakini, so a road then leading to this latest flare-up. Also, some people reporting that, when India decided to revoke the semi-autonomous state of Jammu and Kashmir, that also increasing tensions in that region. But it is a dispute, as you mentioned, that dates back to the 1960s and even before.
Absolutely, that's right. Now, the border, which is known as the line of actual control, was demarcated after the 1962 war when an uneasy truce set in between these two nations. Now, both sides dispute exactly where this border is. And over the last several decades, they've often faced off along this 2,500 kilometer long border, but there's a de facto border code that prevents both sides from shooting at each other. So even on Monday, for example, not a single shot was fired. It appears that hundreds of troops had gathered for a meeting, troops from both sides, and a fist fight broke out. Rocks were used, wooden clubs started with nails, and barbed wires were used, and all of this to contend exactly where this border is. Again, this is a dispute that's been going on since the 60s. The last serious flare-up was in 2017, but no casualties were reported then. And this is the most serious we've seen it devolve into.
Okay, Mandakini, for now, thanks indeed.